Hello, my name is Orni Chinar, and I'm a partner at Rain. And I have the pleasure today of hosting Azaria from Hoox, founder and CEO.
Yes.
Oz, thank you very much for being here. Maybe you can start first by telling us what is Hoox?
Sure. So thank you for having me and thank you for the interview. Hoox is a customer activation platform, and we help issuers to optimize their portfolio and winning the top of wallet challenge. And we do that by targeting their customers outside of their network while they do online commerce or online shopping. So we target them in real time, and then we engage with a real time embedded message that creates a change of behavior and helps them to wisely choose the card that they're going to pay with.
So is this in real time when I'm in the store, I get prompted on what card to use, or is this more of a behavioral change so that I'll always use card X and not card Y?
So it's more of a instant play in online or self-service digital channels. And we do that not in a single time, we do that over time, and then we create a habit and we educate the customer why this specific card is a card that he should use more often. And then we gradually upgrade him within the activation ladder, right? So we can start with a totally inactive card, get him to do the first transaction, and then work later on stage, even on a top of wallet card, just echo the message of why you should use the card, right? So we can take from inactive to rarely use all the way to top of wallet.
Oz, I can't resist. I have to understand. How did you come up with this idea and why you?
So it was a hand-on experience that I've collected in MasterCard. I've spent 6 years at MasterCard covering business development, and my main goal was to take new products of MasterCard, mainly on the digital aspect, and then penetrate them within new markets. And it goes from online checkout buttons to EMV to P2P transfers. And something was very interesting for me was how to create that last mile, how to create a competitive advantage over Visa, as an example, and make the first transaction used to be a MasterCard and not Visa, because MasterCard and Visa are basically the same product, right? And what I've been able to realize is that if you engage with the customer in real time, your capability to influence or change the behavior is timefold better. And the only thing is that when you do that for ad hoc campaign, it's quite challenging to create that engagement from retailers, just to come forward towards a network and then do some kind of an ad hoc campaign. But if you create a system which is a multi-tenant and with a single integration can support multiple use cases, then you can create basically a network which provides tons of value on both sides of the equation. This is once the idea was implemented in my head, I couldn't stop thinking about it. So eventually I left MasterCard just to do that.
Well, sounds exciting.
It is.
And why should a merchant cooperate with you?
So the way I see it is that merchants are really struggling with getting new customers and with improving their conversion. And one way to address these challenges is collaborate with strong partners like banks, but obviously banks' attention to retailers is very limited, right? So the huge ones get the attention, and even if they do, it's a lengthy process, right? Even if they do get the attention, and you end up working with legacy system and legacy methods, so the user experience is not that great. And even if you're able to do that from a retailer's perspective, most of the collaborations with banks end up with negative impact over the P&L, because you gain some new activity from new customers, but you then need to fund discounts for existing customers, and you end up with cannibalization, which hurts the P&L. So what we're saying is that we're able to reverse this equation in some extent. So what we're saying is that with a single integration, so you can skip the lengthy processes, the lengthy commercial effort with the issuers, and just make a simple integration with us, and you get access to multiple issuers. And not only that, the issuers are willing to fund at least some of the incentive because they create a change of behavior. It's not just a reward system. It's totally something that changes the way their customers behave. So they're willing to invest in that as well.
And on the other side, as a card holder, why would I want to use you?
So with card holders, I think it's almost impossible to track your reward system coming from your banks, and even if it's a single bank, but most card holders today hold more than one card, so it really is impossible to optimize your spend based on the reward system. And what Hoox provide is that instead of just browsing your mobile banking application searching for an incentive, you are prompt in real time with the type of an incentive that your card offers, and if you're up for it, you can just use your card. So there's no additional friction in the process.
It's like honey for cards.
It's like honey for cards without any installation, without cookies. We're not monitoring the customer, and we basically created a zero knowledge architecture in which we are able to do this kind of magical virtual handshake without monitoring the customer's credentials and without being exposed to PII data.
And that's, I guess, I was going to ask you about data privacy, but I think you just led me into it very elegantly. So you're perfectly safe from a data privacy perspective?
Yeah, because the data that we see is fully anonymized at all stages. We're not exposed to any personal identifiable information. In fact, within our commercial infrastructure, we mandate the issuers or the retailers to make sure that they are encrypting the data in a fully anonymized manner and only then exposing it to Hoox.
So Oz, in 5 years, where are you? What does Hoox do?
So in 5 years, we're going to make a powerful network, but we're hoping to grow more than the customer activation play. So we can have, once the network kicks in, we can have customer acquisition play, right? Because if I'm able to identify a customer, I'm able to identify a non-customer, then understand what type of value proposition can get him to become a customer. So we will cross from activation to customer acquisition, and maybe even some other use cases such as fraud prevention, because if I know the identity of the customer, then I can make sure that this specific customer can use that specific card, and I can provide a score for the risk of the transaction. So we can cross for multiple use cases other than activation.
Sounds very nice. What could you get today if you had one ask? Who should reach out to you? Merchants, banks?
So both. We're addressing both banks and retailers, and also other players at the network, the ecosystem, right? So as an example, instead of working directly with merchants, we can also collaborate with payment gateway or a PSP or an acquirer that can provide us access to multiple retailers in a single integration, and that ease out our process of scaling.
Well, I wish you a lot of success, and I hope they'll all be reaching out after this video.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.